Well, what a wonderful video that is, with some great footage and some great clips. And David, it's so great to have you with us. I hope this finds you well, and like all of us, delighted that 2020 is behind us and ready to face a new year with all new revigorated energy. And thanks so much for being with us today.
Oh, thanks, Mark. This is my pleasure. This is it's a true blessing, and you're right. It's an exciting opportunity now for us to all press on.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Learn from our lessons and our mistakes, and get better for it, and move on. And thank everybody for helping us get through this. So let's just go ahead and jump into some questions. You had an amazing career in higher education. You, of course, were a cadet. You played basketball. You went through all of those experiences, but I'm told you didn't initially expect that you were going to be in the NBA, and many elements of your career have had probably unexpected turns one way or another on them. And how did sports help you figure out how to adapt and how to deal with what comes next and be ready for it?
Yeah, no, sports played a huge role. I coming into college, I was fairly shy. And as you probably know, I came into college, I was about 6'7" and about 172 pounds. So I was not a physically imposing picture of a man either. So yeah, I grew into my body. I kind of grew into my mind a little bit. And college really got me, and particularly academy, really taught me how to lead and how to be the man that I was supposed to be, not make excuses, press on, and that just has served me well throughout basketball and everything beyond.
Yeah, though I have to tell you, I'm having a little trouble thinking of you as ever being shy, but I'll take your words.
No, it's true. I came in there and I was just, I think, I was just hoping to make the team and hoping to contribute. And truthfully, I didn't even think my first week there, I was so overwhelmed. I saw these guys who were valedictorians in their class, and I thought, man, I'm gonna flunk out of this place. I'm not even gonna make it. But I did okay.
Well, I've visited the academy before, and it's an impressive, and I'm sure for the guys coming in and gals coming in, it's an intimidating place to be sure. So
yeah, no, there's a lot of structure.
Yeah, a lot of structure for sure. So let me shift gears. You have done some amazing things in your philanthropy, in your giving back to your community. It's not just money, it's time and energy and brain power and enthusiasm, and it's remarkable. But why do you do that? Why is that legacy important to you of what you're doing with your community? What drives that?
Yeah, I think I'm a teacher at heart. As we grow older, we kind of begin to realize where our talents lie. And I think after having 3 boys, and I was always kind of teaching them and coaching them and saying, okay, you guys understand why this happened? And, I'm an academic by nature. So yeah, I think it was a natural gravity towards helping kids get through school. And not only get through it, but really enjoy the process of it. I think that's the greatest thing I like about what we've done through Idea Public Schools, is that we've created a culture where these kids really look forward to graduating. They look forward to going to college. It's such a great atmosphere for learning and for growth. So that's been my passion. I think my talents have lent themselves towards what we've been able to do.
Yeah, well, it's obviously been incredibly impactful already, and it's going to continue to do so. That's just wonderful for all of us to see. And that brings me to my third question, and that is, you're a busy guy. You've had a collegiate athletic career. You've had an MBA career. Your family. You got a family. You got these wonderful sons in college sports. Nonetheless, you've stepped up to be involved, continue to be involved in intercollegiate athletics, not just through your sons, but working with the Knight Commission. I called you up one day and asked you to serve on the Rice Commission, and figured I was going to have to talk this very busy businessman into doing it. And you're, oh no, I'm in. Well, this is important that you've always stepped up to stay involved in college sports. And what is that? What have you seen? I mean, you went to college, you went to academy a couple of years ago, and the rules changed a little bit. And what are the lessons you're learning about how we need to go forward, and what college sports, what you've taken away from what we need to be doing around college sports?
Yeah, I know for me personally, it helped me grow into, the man that I am. I think with the resilience, sports teaches us some things that you can never learn in the classroom. I mean, when you get knocked down on the court or on the football field and you have to keep getting up, and when you lose a game and you have to face the media and face the fans, those are lessons that they're immediate lessons. And that's probably the thing I love the most about sports, is that I got that immediate feedback and I got a chance to make adjustments and press on. Where in business, I might make a decision and not know for 6 months or a year how that decision turned out. So there are things we learn in sports that I think translate incredibly well to business. And so for me, I've always been a proponent of getting kids to play sports as much as you can. We're not all going to be professional athletes, but you're going to learn things on that field or on that court that are going to translate and just make you a much more well-rounded person.
Yeah, and when something goes wrong, it's not like a video game. You just hit reset and start again.
That's true. I mean, it's in the NBA, there were many years where we lost, and for my first 10 years of my career, you're losing at the end of the season, and it's like falling off the edge of a cliff, and you just have to figure out how do I get back on the horse, and how do I start this over again? And it's devastating each time, but you learn to have character, and you learn to deal with those things and not point fingers, and just and figure out how to make it better.
Well, related to that, you've already, and you're still a young man in my book, you've had a career that very, very few, maybe nobody else has done. I'm not sure. You went through the academy, an unbelievably rigorous experience. You were a very successful college athlete, NBA player, NBA star. You've been really successful in business. Your philanthropic work, as you just said, is extraordinary. Father, husband, all of these things. I get exhausted just running down that list. You could be on a beach somewhere if you wanted to be. What drives David Robinson today? What keeps you, so engaged in all this stuff?
Just responsibility, right? Like when you look out and you see the challenges that are in our society. I mean, I know my parents grew up in, Little Rock, Arkansas, my dad, in the 1950s. So we're talking segregation, we're talking Central High School there in Arkansas, and that whole experience. My mom grew up in Columbia, South Carolina, not a whole lot better. So I think, watching that, growing up around that, and then seeing, I have to do better, right? Like I have to move the needle. I just felt that responsibility, and as great as America is, we still do have our issues, as we found out in 2020, right? A lot of racial issues that are still there, a lot of challenges that we haven't quite faced up to yet. And I think, part of our challenge as a country is to be who we say we are, right? We're the melting pot, the land of the free. And so that's where I get my motivation to say, let's keep working towards that. Let's keep being the country that we say we are, right? We're this great land of opportunity, and we welcome people of all colors and sizes to come on in, and let's just keep being better at that, even than we have been.
Wow, that's a spectacular statement, I think, about who we are as a nation and where we need to be, and you're moving the needle. There's no question about that, and for that we're all really pleased. But let me ask one last thing, because you've been really generous with your time through all of this. When you look back at sport in general, but your college athletic experience in particular, because as you were saying, that's a moment where you really blossomed, right? Probably as a man as well as an athlete. You know, what are if you had to pick like one thing out of that experience and say, this is the one that really sticks, so one thing that I really learned from that, and it's hard to distill, I'm sure, to one thing, but if you had to pick, I'm asking you to make a choice, which one thing would you say really mattered the most to you, and you want this audience to know is something that really comes from that background?
Yeah, I would say, you know, for me, the one thing that it taught me was discipline. I think I didn't understand that coming into college. You know, a lot of things had come easily to me. My dad did a good job of prepping me. My mom and dad both did a good job of kind of prepping me for the academic side. So the academic side was, I won't say easy, but it wasn't the most challenging part. It was about me figuring out how to be a man and how to make decisions and be on top of my game. And so I think that was probably the best thing I learned in school is how do I manage all of these things swirling around my head. And so, I mean, as you know, as you get older, it seems like there's more and more things swirling, right? Whether you're doing philanthropy or business or whatever, there's just a lot swirling. I'm on several boards now, and you always feel like there's things out there, but you got to be disciplined and you got to have goals and make them happen. And so I think those are the things I learned the most from my college experience.
Well, David, look, I just want to thank you very much for letting us honor you and to hold, if you don't mind, for us to just hold you up as an exemplar of what comes out of college sports, people that support intercollegiate athletics and what they mean to us. And I think I speak for everybody that's involved in our annual meeting here of saying you have done a good job of representing those views. The lessons of college sports stuck. Lessons from your mom and dad stuck. And you make us all really, really, really proud. So congratulations and thank you so much for joining us. And we look forward to seeing all of your endeavors going forward because you got a lot of runway yet.
Well, thank you, Mark. I'm honored. I appreciate the honor.
Congratulations, Dave. Good to see you.